I know that consistency is key and have come to the conclusion that the only way I can achieve consistency due to work and personal commitments is to train in the morning. However, and he says this, I have never been a morning person and I'm normally a night owl. Should I retake my ramp test in the morning so that my training is adjusted to that? Is there anything I should be doing to help it stick besides the obvious thing of trying to go to bed earlier? Am I fighting an innate tendency that will ultimately cause me to fail? So, first things first with this, I would recommend that you go back and you search for Ask a Cycling Coach podcast sleep, and you'll see things where we talk about how to get more like higher quality sleep. We've talked about that quite a lot on various different episodes. Even recently, Nate was talking about how the Euler pad has been something that's helped him get better sleep. We've talked about light and its effect on you, proximity of meals, hydration status, caffeine intake. We've talked about a ton of things and how they affect. In most cases, logic is going to point you in the right direction. Sleep in a cool room, sleep in a dark place, sleep in a silent place, do everything you can to make that happen. Try to space out a meal so that you're not going to bed hungry, but at the same time, you're not eating a bunch of food right before then. That's going to be tough on your body to try to sleep, and try to cut down caffeine intake. So all that stuff is there. But I want to focus on this. I've never been a morning person and I'm normally a night owl. And I know that we can all have tendencies with that, but I know many people that train very early in the mornings, and it's not as if that's something that was always the case for them. Like they weren't just naturally like waking up at 6 a.m. and they're like, I just really want to be at sweet spot right now. That was not the case. They work their way into it, and it still requires discipline, and it still requires hard work and sacrifice. Like it's tough. However, I think the biggest thing that I see in myself, and I've also heard this from other people, is that when I start, because I've gone through periods of time where I've trained early in the morning and then where I haven't, and I've gone back and done it, and I might actually have to start doing it again in the future. But when you do it, the temptation is to think that you can just like go to sleep and then roll out of bed and get right on the bike, and that's just what you need to do. And that never has worked for me. I have to get up early. I have to give myself time to prepare and to get that done. Pete, I don't know if you've ever done morning workouts like this or if you have any insight to share in this case, but for me, it just takes discipline and hard work. And when you continually do it, it starts to become habit, but it's not easy. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Yeah, one of the funny things is here at TrainerRoad, Brandon's office used to be next door to mine, and Brandon is a chronic 5:30 a.m. trainer. He still trains at home that way. But having someone who I knew was here riding their bike at 5:30 in the morning made it so much easier for me to come do that, even though I wouldn't quantify myself as a morning person. I'm okay at getting up early, but actually doing real intensity in the morning is hard for me. But yeah, just like you said, as soon as I started doing it, it got easier, and then there was someone else here doing it, so that I sort of had a compatriot that was also suffering. And man, as soon as you do it for a month or 2 months or 3 months, it was so much easier. And I have gone back to afternoon training because for me, that seems to get more out of my workouts. But I was definitely getting more consistent training in the morning before work. And for a lot of people, that's just the way it has to be. And don't sell yourself short on the consistency portion of it. If you're getting consistent training and it has to be at 5:30 in the morning, you're going to be so much fitter overall than kind of speckling workouts here and there. Oh, maybe I'll do it this morning. Maybe I'll do it this afternoon. I'm not sure. That's when you really are, just like you said, you're going to set yourself up to fail because you don't know whether you're going to do it now or later. And it's having the routine dialed makes the biggest difference to me for sure.
We've also talked about eating. A lot of people say like, well, what do I do when I wake up early? How do I get the nutrition in? Remember what we just talked about. You can eat on the bike. Yeah. Everybody has this question like, well, what do I eat before? It's like, well, you can eat while you're on the bike and that will help. So we've talked about like quick toast and with some honey or something like that, but take that in if you want. But then also when you get on the bike, if you just already know that you eat, problem solved. Makes it a lot easier. Amber, what tips do you have for this?
I was going to say remove barriers. I mean, so this is... You don't have to be a morning person to develop a new habit, right? And it doesn't matter what the habit is, building a new habit is going to be difficult. So just think of it like that. It's not something where you're setting yourself up for failure. You're just building a new habit and that's it. And I say that's it, except that we know that that's a long and arduous process, but worth it, right? So just keep in mind, like when you get started on this, just Accept that it's going to take time, accept that you're going to need to be patient, accept that you're not going to get it right all the time, but don't let that derail you. Just keep your eye on the prize, keep focused on that long-term goal, and think of the goal as, I'm just going to build this habit where I'm going to get up, and within X amount of time of getting up, I'm going to throw my leg over the bike. And you can help that along by removing barriers. So getting everything set up the night before, so that you can make that transition from bed to bike as quickly as possible. And just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect to be effective. Like you don't have to get it right every time in order to effectively build a strong new habit. And then once it does become habit, it will feel a lot easier. It's just the process of building that new habit can be difficult. But that's okay. Just anticipate it, get stuck into it, and a couple months go by, it'll start feeling really natural to you.
Awesome.
I want to challenge Gino. So for me, I find the same problem as early morning workouts, especially if I try to roll out of bed and get on the bike. We were doing group workouts here at TrainerRoad, and I was doing like pet at -1. I couldn't even finish. I was like, this is horrible. Something's wrong with me. It is just goes against my grain, those early morning workouts. I can do them sometimes. For some reason with races, I'm totally fine because I'm all like super jazzed about doing it. Evening is great. I can wake up early and dive into deep work, any TrainerRoad work, super easily, most productive time. Cup of coffee, I can go right in. So for me, I don't want to fight what feels bad my entire life. Like I dread morning workouts. I love waking up and working. I love evening workouts. So what I have done to make it more consistent, because you say I can't do it due to personal commitments and work commitments, is what's helped me. Well, one, I'm the boss, so I can do whatever I want. But with the personal stuff is you communicate, right? So I've seen people, they do this, is they communicate with their boss and say, I'm going to block on my calendar 90 minutes on these days, and I'm going to always do a TrainerRoad workout. I'm not going to be available for these 90 minutes. Is that okay, boss? Boss would be like, sure. Like, say, I'm going to come a little bit early and I'm going to do this morning stuff and get stuff done when no one's here. I'm going to do this. Or with your significant other, you say, you know what? I'm going to get off work at 4. I'm not going to be available till 5:30. And having that where everyone else knows they can't take your time up, because usually that's what it is. It's something else takes your time up. And if there are fires that are taking up your time, then I've done some Instagram stuff about this, but it's probably because you haven't set up the system or process for people to handle and understand how to take that fire. For instance, when TrainerRoad, we would have an outage in the early days on like the website, or we have a bug or something like that gets deployed. It'd be a huge scramble, right? And we'd be like, it'd be like all hands on deck. We'd messaging people, calling people on the phone. Now we have a very simple process of if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. And they roll it back, and then they log the bug, and somebody fixes it in a timely manner. And by me putting that in place, no one has told me about, when we're better at no outages, but told me about an outage for like years. And the fires just don't reach me because people know how to handle it themselves. So by doing more of those and making so that these emergencies, these like urgent and important things don't get to you, then you can start freeing up your time, and you can have these schedule blocks where you can do it where it really feels good. Maybe a lunchtime workout feels good, or maybe a 4 o'clock workout feels good. But you can do what they're saying and build new habits, because people do it all the time. I used to not like working out at all, and it's a new habit, and I do it all the time now. And I probably could do it, but I also think that fighting against circadian rhythm can be super hard. It's an uphill battle. You got to really want it. If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up.
If you didn't like this video, you can give it a thumbs down, but let us know what you would have done differently in the comments below.
If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to become a faster cyclist, check out TrainerRoad.com.
Do it.
If you think I have better hair than Jonathan, give it a thumbs up. If not, leave a comment.
My hair is better than his.